Greetings everyone, Ray Landis here with another guitar adventure, and tonight I want to talk with you about this Firefly. I don't want to talk to you about a Firefly. I want to talk to you about a Firefly. This is a Firefly FFLP, and it's considered their classic version of the LP style guitar. And this is my second video about this guitar. The first video was an unboxing, and tonight I'm going to talk with you a little bit about what I actually ended up doing, which I said I wasn't going to do, is to modify this thing. And I couldn't resist it. I just couldn't resist it. This guitar was great when I first took it out of the box. It played really nice. It sounded great. It had a lot of honorable appointments, as they call them, and I thought I would never try to modify it, but I was wrong. I ended up modifying this guitar. Unboxing, there were a few things that I didn't mention about this guitar, and so before I go into what I did to it, which I said I wasn't going to do as far as modifications, let me just mention those features that I thought were worth reviewing again, and a few that I maybe didn't talk about the first time. The first one is that this guitar has the famous stainless steel ball end frets. Doo, doo, doo. No, they're actually really good. The frets on this guitar are really amazing. Second, this has a neck radius, which I don't know if I mentioned this in the first video, of between 14 and 16 inches. So this is a very flat neck. So even though this guitar originally had on the headstock the word classic, this is actually much flatter than the classic, because the classic Les Paul style guitar really, I think, had a 12-inch radius. I mean, there might be a few variations of that, but I think that if we look back into history, we're going to find that most of the Les Pauls are going to be a 12-inch radius. This one is much flatter. We're looking at least a 14. I used the 14, 15, and 16 radius gauges on it. They all looked pretty good. I think the 16 actually looked the best. I tried to shine some light behind it. But needless to say, it's very flat. It's not a 12-inch radius. It's much flatter than that. Me to this guitar, because I'm usually a T-style, S-style guitarist, I like maple necks. Now, I can deal with a rosewood neck, I can deal with an ebony neck, I can deal with those necks, especially if they have the right markers. But I am usually bowled over by a maple neck, and to find an LP style guitar with a maple neck, that's what sent me, that's what sold me, and that's the reason why I have this guitar. But I was really pleasantly surprised to find out how nice this guitar actually is. And I'm going to spend just a couple minutes and kind of review the main things about this guitar that really amazed me. One is that it's got the maple neck. But the next thing was, I was so surprised to find out that this is actually like an arch top. If you can see, that is not a flat top. That is an arched top guitar. And that really makes this guitar look classy. It's bound all the way around the front, but in the back, we've got belly cut. We've got a nice cutaway here. This is a really nice cutaway. This is a very comfortable guitar to play. The back of the neck is glossy. The front of the neck is matte. It came with locking tuners, and I think that was the first thing I noticed that would have to be changed. Again, when I took this out of the box, I was so pleased with it that I made the statement I wouldn't change anything. And I played it for a couple months, and I realized that the tuners were not going to cut it. The ratio on the tuners was very low. They slipped, and I couldn't get the locking wheels to securely grab the B and the E strings. They kept slipping. I had to wrap them around back through the hole, and then I could get them to grab. But these tuners I chose for a couple reasons. For one, they're also locking tuners. These are made by Kaish. I ordered these from AliExpress. They took about 3 weeks to come in. It was worth the wait. These are a very high ratio. I think they're like 21-1. And they have a really nice looking nylon head, the actual tuning button, and that to me is an improvement in the aesthetics of this guitar. So that was one thing I really thought made a big difference. And then I played it like that a little while longer, and that solved most of the challenges that I had with it. But as you know, and as I know, there's this urge that comes to modify a guitar, and that urge sometimes is unfounded as it is, but I had to do it. So for one, I apologize for saying I wasn't going to do it and then did it. Hopefully you can forgive me, but I'm going to tell you that this was an easy guitar to modify. I think you'll be interested to know that these Firefly guitars really do have the ability to be tweaked to a level, I believe, professional. So I'm going to tell you all about that and break it all down for you. So let's go over some of the specs on the guitar, original and then after the modification. These are the pickups that were in the guitar when I got it. And the pickups were not bad. I liked them. They sounded good. They're quite hot. The bridge pickup, I measured it at 15.25. It's an AnicoV, at least according to what they say, pickup that has a resistance of 15.25. The neck was... the reading was 8.47, so relatively hot. Now, the reason I changed the pickups is mostly for the look. I really wanted zebra pickups with a cream colored section that would kind of match the binding, and then I changed the black knob switch tip to cream, and then I also changed the black knobs to a black gold combination just to add some accent. But talking about the pickups, they really were not bad. They sounded good. They were rated supposedly as Alnico 5s. The pickups that are in it now are a little less hot than the originals, but to me they sound just as good. It's kind of like a lateral move, but really for aesthetics. I wanted to get an uncovered pickup, zebra pickup in this guitar, and these pickups are Fleor. They are pickups that I ordered from AliExpress, and the bridge pickup is about a 14, and the neck pickup is about a 7.5. So very similar, still hot, but not quite as hot. They sound really, really nice, and I'm going to say they sound pretty much like it did originally, and that was done mostly for aesthetics. But as I mentioned, I wanted to get inside this guitar. Most of my guitars, as you can see back there, with the exception of a couple, are either Stratocasters or Telecasters or, styled like that with the bolt-on neck. This guitar is one of the few that I have with a set neck. And I've, learned a lot about wiring and various different things that I can do with a Strat or a Tele type guitar. And I wanted to get an opportunity to get inside of this guitar and find out really kind of what I'm looking at. And with the 2-volume, 2-tone configuration, the capacitors and things, and all the parts that kind of go with it and how they're wired and where the wires go. I've never really worked with LP guitars that much. But this one, as I mentioned in my other video, and I'll put a link in the description to the first unboxing and my first impression of this guitar, so you can kind of see where I've come from and where I'm at. But I ordered new wiring, and the reason I did that is because I sensed that something wasn't quite right with the Firefly wiring. And I've seen a few Firefly guitars, been able to get inside them and look around, and there's some strange things going on. Not that they don't work, but they're just not the same as what you would think of when you're wiring a guitar. Maybe switching the pots around, different types of pots, different configurations of things that you wouldn't expect it to be like that. They sound okay, but this one actually started to kind of not short out, but just it acted funny. So I decided I was going to go ahead and order a wiring harness for this guitar, and I ordered a Kaish, same company, Kaish. I ordered a wiring harness that had this switch with a long lead and a quick clip, so that you could connect this to the pots without any soldering. So when I got this all put together, I really only had to solder a few things. I had to solder the ground wires, and then I had to solder the hot leads for the pickups, and then just put these pots in. Now these are full-size pots. They already had a capacitor, and everything fit absolutely perfect. And that's the one thing I want to mention to anybody interested, is that some, maybe not all, of the Firefly guitars, the parts are interchangeable with the parts that you would get for all general replacement. So I didn't have any trouble feeding the lead wire down through, making the connection, getting the jack pushed through. That was already soldered on. The hole here was large enough. This little plate was able to be removed, and the jack was put in without any problem. Got it all set up. These pickups, they were like a quick replacement. The pickup rings came out. The other pickups came off without any problem. They just popped right off, and everything was uniform. There was no anomalies or anything that I ran into. I was able to get these mounted and everything all set back up again. Of course, I already had my intonation and my string height and everything the way that I had it before. So I took everything off carefully, put it all back together. About an hour and a half to 2 hours, I had this guitar set up, and I decided to tweak it a little bit more. Now, when I got the guitar, it played really nice. The action was great. I didn't need to adjust the truss rod or anything like that. So this guitar, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that once I got this all dialed in the way that I wanted it, and you'll notice I have a new truss rod cover, and I put a star on the headstock. So I wanted to get this guitar personalized, but I was very impressed with the fretwork, and I was able to get the action on this guitar to around 50 thousandths of an inch, which is as low as I really want it. I was able to get the intonation set really well. That all worked out. The only problem I did have is that with this Tune-O-Matic bridge, I'm so used to the T-style and the S-style bridges that you can individually raise and lower the string heights. I don't have uniform string height, but it's within thousandths of an inch. So I hope that helps somebody. This guitar is amazing. It's hot. It's intuitive. It plays like a dream, and I've customized it. I was able to get the truss rod cover from AliExpress, and I was able to get the knobs from AliExpress, and I'm saying that because I'm going to put all these links in the description. I'm saying that because I really didn't invest a lot of additional money in this guitar to really tweak it in the way that I like it. But I just want you to know that these guitars never cease to amaze me. They really are good. So if you've gained something from this video that is inspiring or has maybe motivated you to try something out with your Firefly or some other budget guitar to be able to get that tweaked in and dialed in just the way you like it, I'm going to ask that you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time for the next guitar adventure. Take care.